Yeah, okay. We are live. This is the explanation or overview of the Cubes project. If there are any questions you have that are not covered in this video, feel free to ask. Read the instructions and grading rubric on this doc. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to read the instructions and it's not going to mean a whole lot to you. Just follow along, and then what I'm going to do is show you examples of student works. And by looking at their examples, you're really going to get it, okay? So, you know what I think I will? You know what? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold off, and I'm going to show you the examples first. Sorry, I should have had this folder up. I have a lot of folders. My drive. Excellent examples of projects to keep. Cubes. So you're telling a story of you. Everything is you. It's your life. Ideally, it is you from baby all the way till now. Those are always the best projects, the ones that showcase the whole life. However, I don't make that a requirement anymore. It used to be a requirement for many years, most years. But, you know, kids, the students, they would have reasons why they just couldn't get those pictures. And anyway, so I'm going to leave that as an option and just tell you your project's going to be better if you have the whole life. Other students choose to start in junior high, and still others just do high school and on. So it really just depends on how you want to showcase yourself. So you're creating a background. You're not just ripping one from the internet. And this one looks like it's been ripped from the internet, but she actually created the background. The rocks are a separate picture. The waterfall's a separate picture. And I'm not sure, she did some plant stuff that's extra too. I think there's a requirement of 3 or 5 images that you have to use. You are also welcome to use AI to help create your background. Artificial intelligence, generative fill. Go for it. Go nuts. Use it. I don't care. Your background can also just be a flat color. It does not have to be some, landscape background. It can just be blue, just a blue color. And we'll look at some of those examples. Some people, some students, their project is a theme. Their entire project is a theme. Obviously, he lost his dad, probably in the war. I don't know, but this is really sad. Anyway, some students, after they do everything, decide to turn their cubes black and white and make their background a different color. Here's an example of what you would think. They found that background off of the internet, but they actually used multiple pictures. The flooring, the wood flooring is separate from the ceiling, is a separate one. And the walls, I remember, were created by her. They're just shapes filled with wallpaper textures. And she did the shadowing and lighting. It's insane. But yeah. Your cubes will also, if you think about it being in a drawing class, and if your drawing teacher said, we're going to draw a 3-dimensional cube, and you're going to shade that cube to make it look real. Well, if you shade a cube to make it look real, the cube is going to have a light side, a medium side, a dark side, and it's going to have cast shadows. And so you're actually going to do that after you've added all of the pictures and everything's ready. You're going to do cast shadowing and lighting effects. And there are some very good demonstration videos for that. The focus of your project needs to be the cubes. The cubes need to be big. They need to take up most of the space. You should also have a variety of size. You should have cubes that are really big. You should have cubes that are big, medium, small, super small. Your cubes should also overlap and have some stacking. If you do that, you'll just make it'll be a nicer arrangement. It'll be a nicer composition. Reflecting, this is a great example of the cubes are reflecting onto a shiny surface. In this case, it's a like a granite countertop. So, cubes sitting on a countertop in a restaurant. That's about as small as you want to go for your cubes. You don't want to really go any smaller than that. The focus, again, needs to be on the cubes, not your background picture. Or a better way of putting it is the focus should be on both, but your cubes have to be big. The one criticism I have with this one, after what I just told you, I would say there's really not a lot of variety in size. The cubes are all basically kind of about the same size, minus the one way in the background. This is in here because the lighting is incredible. Background is very creative. But the cubes are all, again, very similar in size, and there's really there's only one piece of overlapping. They're all too separated. This one's much better. Yeah, feel free to be as creative as you want. So this one is an example of just a colored background with a gradient. And that gradient creates the light source. So again, you don't have to have some big landscaped background. She was an AP art student here at Concord. So she had a lot of colored pencil drawing. And she wanted, what she did is well, now you guys could just take pictures because your camera is really good on your phone. But back then, the cameras weren't quite as good. And what she did is she used the classroom scanner. And she scanned her images into the computer and used them in and around the cubes. And how many cubes do you need? You need a minimum of 7. There is no maximum. You can have as many as you want, but you need to have a minimum of 7 cubes. Very creative background again. Really cool theme, the box dumping out the cubes onto the ground. Obviously more than 7 cubes here. That was her choice. You guys are really good at adjustment layers. Think about how you can use adjustment layers for this project. This one was probably photo filter or something else that gave it that sort of magenta hue to her project after she was finished. The student who did this is that girl right there. So after all I said about the size of cubes and overlapping, what can we say about this? The focus of this, would you say, is the cubes or the background? Yeah, and it's a great background. It's super creative in its theme, but really the focus here is on the background. And the cubes are pretty secondary, and they're way too small. Like there are cubes way back here you can't even see, even on the print. So stay away from. Man, it's too bad because it's so creative. It just, yeah. I think for something like this, you want to set up your cubes first, and then do your background around your cubes that you set up. Some students will choose to do like an artistic filter. I don't think we really talked much about filters in Photo 1. Did we use any filters on anything? I don't think we did. I will show you that in a separate demonstration. Basically, you guys know what filters are anyway, but Photoshop just has about 1 billion more than you can get anywhere else. You can use black and white if you want to do a black and white adjustment layer to your whole project when it's done. Not a lot of students choose this option, but you're welcome to do that. I'm going to speed up. This one, when she finished the whole project, she merged the layers to one layer, and then she did a filter. It's an oil painting filter. And you can see there's like a sort of a canvas look to it. I mean, it doesn't look like a painting, but it looks like it's done on a canvas. So there are lots of options for filters. Most of this is underwater. Again, with the image adjustments, layer adjustments, adjustment layers on this one. All right, I think we've seen enough. Oh, this one's so good. This is a recent one. Man, unbelievable creativity. Look at that. Okay, she actually went on to be a graphic designer. That's really cool. So I can fly through this now and it'll make sense. Using Photoshop, create a scene of cubes. The cubes will contain photographs, pictures, and subject matter. That's just stuff, right? Which tell a story about your life. Important things, events, people, places, or anything that has contributed to the person you are today. Use Photoshop adjustment layers, filters, and other techniques to make everything look like it belongs together. So here are the must-haves and the may-haves. The must-haves are a minimum of 7 cubes. You can have more if you want. That is, you must be in at least 7 photos. More is okay too, or all, but at least 7. Size varieties: small, medium, large, super large. We talked about that. Overlapping at least 3 cubes should overlap. You can, this is Mrs. Howard. You are now going to be on a screencast video. This is Roger. Is Raina here? Raina is here. Her father is here. Okay, send her out. Okay. and out. All right. All right. Bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Raina, go to the attendance office. All right. Okay. At least 3 cubes must overlap, and overlap all if you need. All cubes are shaded. Follow demonstration video. There are some good videos on that. Create your background in Photoshop or use your own photography. If you want this awesome picture that you took in this class, or off of your phone, and you want to build your composition around it, that's your photography. So that would be fine. Do not simply copy a picture from Google Images as your background. The cube should be the main focus of your project, not your background, and we looked at examples of that. You will need to make your cubes big enough to accomplish this. Cast shadows are added. So those are the must-haves, and we will go through all that, and there are video demonstrations on how to do all of that. The may-haves. You may use more than 7 cubes. You may add your own drawings, paintings, scan them into the computer. You may use creative filters, lighting effects, color, black and white options. I don't really know what all that means. It just means you can do anything with color for this. So what is the canvas we are working on here? We are working on a 13-inch by 19-inch canvas, or a 19 by 13-inch 300 white. When you're working on this, you should type your first name and then cubes, PSD, for when you're working on it. So what you don't want to do is don't pull up a background image from the internet and then start adding your cubes to it. You want to create your canvas first, and I will show you how to do that in the next demonstration. How are you being graded? All 7 cubes are present and completed. 50. You appear in at least 7 of the photographs. There's another 50. Shading and cast shadows are completed properly. Another 50. Creativity. Oh, what? Creativity of background. I am going to change that to creativity. Does anybody know why I just did that? Because your background can be just a solid color. So why on earth would I put creativity of background? Makes no sense. Extra credit for super creativity up to 25 points. So that's the end of this part 1. Part 2 will be how to create your composition with the cube that is already in Canvas. This better have recorded